Hi, it's Kylie Koo. Welcome to my studio. So today I want to give you a quick preview of some things I'm going to be putting in my Etsy shop very soon. And I expect they will be in this coming Friday. But I'll go over the details of that towards the end. Now, if you're not interested in buying any of these, no worries. You might still find something that's of interest just by way of inspiration as I show you what I'm doing. So, to begin with, I have two, what I'm calling junk journals with a travel theme. They're virtually identical other than I've used some maps inside, so obviously they vary slightly. So I'll just give you a very quick look through one of them. So I've basically used this thick twine as a closure. Has an eyelet. I've not tied it too tightly, so if whoever gets this wants to change this out, they can do so. Inside is one signature and it's sewn in with wax thread. This was a paper that I bought, and I've only just stressed it a little bit around the edges, but it's obviously got a kind of mail type stamp theme. The journal measures around about 8¼ inches by around 4¼ . That's about 21 centimetres by 11 centimetres, and it's roughly the traveller notebook inset size. So in theory this could go into a traveller's notebook, the standard size, albeit it's quite chunky in a sense. The depth, I can't really measure a depth in terms of the spine, but the depth here is somewhere in the region of ½ inch, about 1 centimetre. But obviously it can be, tightly pulled too. Inside there are a variety of sizes of papers, and I think it amounts to around 48 sides. So when we open it up, the fact that I've folded this over creates a small pocket here, albeit the depth is really 2 smaller pockets. And I've placed various things in these pockets. So I have this little coin envelope, money envelope, and inside this I have various tickets stamped. There's then 2 little journaling cards. These are quite thick and heavy. A map glued onto an old postcard and tea-stained paper glued onto the back. Have a little tag and 2 little mini pockets that could be attached anywhere within the journal, little envelopes. So these could attach to a page or could be retained in here. In terms of decoration throughout, I've kept it very minimal so that whoever wants can add their own details to this, but just little bits of kind of washi here and there. So I'll just go through this quickly. Piece of rickrack on here, this folds out. Book pages, some graph paper, distressed slightly in terms of inking, a pocket here, and I've stapled this but also put on a little bit of lace trim. A couple of record cards with little tabs made from maps, and again these have been distressed. It's a piece of thick watercolour paper, very textured. Bit of a fold out here and a fold out again. A little pocket in here that actually is a recycled envelope, so that folds out further, and a tag in here. Lined paper, folded over, and obviously the fact that these are folded, they could be made into pockets if the person wanted. Another piece of the watercolour paper, paper from a pack, a dictionary page, pattern paper again, and opens up into this centrepiece with some patterned paper that has kind of writing on it. Obviously it's the same in reverse, so I'm not going to go through all of that. Fold out piece of map here. Little pocket type thing here with a journaling card. And in the back, some more journaling cards that could be attached anywhere within the journal. Now, I glued this paper to cardstock, and I then stained this with, I think it was vintage photo, just to give it a kind of aged look. So that's the travel themed journal. The next journal that I have, I'm calling a kind of rustic journal. And again, I have two of these. They are virtually identical, so I'm listing the two as being the same thing, really. The only difference is in some of the decoration is just ever so slightly different. This one, a similar type closure to the travel journal with the eyelet. This time I've used a thinner twine on this in a natural colour. It has the same number of pages, so 48 sides in total. But what I've done with this one is I've hidden the seam just by gluing on this piece of lace. Some rustic stitching, hand stitching here, and the purpose of that is to hold this pocket closed. So this cover is actually made from caddy paper, and it's not backed with anything. It's quite a heavyweight paper. It comes with this natural edge to it, and I just decided that I liked the look of that, so I've left the rough edges throughout. The only place where it's not rough like that is on the bottom of the book, so it could stand, but also because I folded it up to create the pockets. So same size as the travel journal, which is 4.5 inches roughly. Obviously the paper varies a bit, by 8.25, which is 11 centimetres by 21 centimetres. And again, maybe just slightly thicker this one, but roughly 1/2 inch, but still just that one signature. So the pocket here, and within this there are just various pieces of paper just to journal on. I've kept the rough edge on here, a little coin envelope, and again with just a couple of stamped images. These could be placed anywhere in the book, but I've left that for whoever hopefully buys this, that they can do with it as they want. And a journal card. Again, heavyweight. In the centre is a recycled postcard. It has papers on the top. Yeah, paper collaged on the top, and then a little butterfly on top of that. Most of the kind of pieces like this come from the Tim Holtz Botanical. I've used a little bit of lace trim as a tab on the top, and I've machine sewn round these. Now it's wonky stitching, so you will see little imperfections in it, and on the back is a watercolour paper. So, you know, in theory you could actually apply some paint to this, but certainly ideal for journaling on. Again, throughout I've kept the detail inside to a minimum, just little bits of washi tape here and there. Again, this opens out, could be made into a pocket. In here is a page from an old botanical book. I took it out from the centre pages, but because it was quite fragile, I decided to apply a piece of washi just to make sure that that stays attached here, and then also on this side. Little tuck spot here with this piece of pattern paper in the background, and just a little tag that anything could go on. Potential for another pocket here, or just for a piece of paper to fold out. Some book text, again another fold out page, book text, again fold out page, so plenty of room for attaching things or journaling. A piece of sketchbook paper, dictionary page, then a pocket. So in here is a tag. Again, I've just used staples on the top here to staple this piece of linen on, bit of hessian, and again another embellishment. And this little envelope, Siri's talking to me. What I said there that activated Siri, but there we go. So yeah, a little envelope, just put on this here as almost a little stamp in the corner, and just a little insect on the back. And these just tuck into this pocket. Dictionary page, and then another page from the Botanical book in the centre. So again, pretty similar going through the back. Won't go into it in too much detail, but I have another envelope here, this time with a butterfly on the front. Just a little piece of the caddy paper that could be used as notepaper. A couple of stamped images that could be added into the book anywhere. And a piece of paper just folded envelope style that could be used for journaling. This obviously just reflects, mirrors the front, other than I've added on this little piece of ribbon here. Again, I've secured the other side of that Botanical page just by using some washi on each side of it. And in the back, another tag in a similar way, wonky stitching, and a piece from the Botanical collection by Tim Holtz. And just to finish it off, a little mini journal with just a few pages in there, just for whatever. So as I say, the two books are very similar, other than the embellishments used are just ever so slightly different, but both contain exactly the same thing. So I'm just adding it as one listing of two items being the same. So let me show you some other things that I've also been making. So one of the things I've made is several sets of these kind of journaling cards, made with map on the front. The centre is a recycled postcard, map glued to the front, and tea-dyed copy paper stuck to the back. And I'm going to have these in my shop in sets of 5. So they feature maps from France and Italy, I think it is. So stamped them with Tim Holtz tiny stamps on the back, all with a bit of a travel theme. So these are pretty sturdy, pretty heavy duty. You know, they're not flimsy in any way, and, you know, would be an ideal addition to a journal such as this, but really for any journal, if you already have a kind of travel themed journal, these would make a nice addition to it. So I've got several sets of these, so these will be going in at the same time. I also have these tags that I've made. Again, this is a set of 5, an ideal addition to a journal such as this, a nature journal of any description. 5 different stamped images on the front. Again, in the centre is an old postcard with some paper, some cheesecloth, a little bit of hessian ribbon, and the wonky stitching, rickrack for the tag, and on the back is this heavy-duty watercolour paper. So again, in theory, you should be able to apply some paint to this without it going right the way through to the front layer, and certainly ideal for journaling on. So 5 in a set, and I've got a few sets of those. So the next items that I have are altered pay packets or wage packets. So I just want to show you that this is one that hasn't been altered. Just want to let you see it, just to show you what I've altered. So the information on the front here, back, so it's a little packet envelope type thing that can be stuck down. So I have quite a number of these. Sorry, I should have said these little cards are almost 2 3/4 inches, which is just under 7 centimetres by almost 4 1/4, which is about 10 1/2. And these are the same size, and all the details will be on the Etsy listing. So these altered envelopes will measure approximately 4 inches by 4 1/4. That's with the flap at the back tucked down, which is approximately 10 centimetres by just short of 11 centimetres. So I have several sets of these. There will be 3 in a set. I'm just going to try and make sure I don't get them mixed up because they'll be listed separately on Etsy. So this first set is set A, and again I've used pieces from the Tim Holtz Botanicals and a piece of the Tim Holtz tissue at the back. And on the back, all I've done is I've put some washi tape over the sticky pieces because I don't want this inadvertently being stuck down. I've not actually glued these into place, so it might be possible to carefully peel them off. And these open like so. So again, I think these are ideal for journals. Various types of journals. They would certainly go in something like this, where they could be washied in. You know, you could put washi tape down the edge and then fold them over and use them. They could be stuck on with a paper clip. So an ideal addition to these journals or a journal of that sort. Edged with some ink just to give it that kind of aged look. So that's set A. I'll just very quickly show you the other sets because they all do the same thing. So set B. Set C. And set D. Missed one. Each as nice as the other. I mean, I did think about not distinguishing between the different sets, but in the end just decided I would. So let me put these aside and I'll bring out some more things. So the final item is some more altered wage packets. So again, the same size, and this time it's using Tim Holtz paper dolls and various other pieces from his ephemera packs, and I have 4 sets of these. The first one I'm calling Ladies. And you see on this I've added a bit of washi tape as well, and again on the back some washi tape, but it varies across the set, but some washi tape just to make sure that area doesn't stick. I've also distressed them a bit by using a Stabilo awl around here, which I've then used a little bit of water just to spread it out, but just to give that aged effect, and also a bit of ink around the edges. So this is the ladies set. And you'll see that all of these feature a clock of some kind, as well as other little pieces of ephemera and a piece of dictionary page. The next set I'm calling Girls. And again, similar, just different washi used on the back. Then we have Boys. And finally we have Gentlemen. So as I say, all created in a similar way. They all have clocks on them, and I think just a little bit different using the kind of wage packet. And you'll see different, I've left different bits of the wage packet actually showing through. So let me give you more details of when these will appear. So I'm recording this Wednesday, and I hope to get this video up today, Wednesday. And my plan is to have these released in my Etsy shop on Friday, May 24th at 6 p.m. British summer time. So by my reckoning, that is 1 p.m. Eastern in the US. I'm not sure about other time zones. So, you know, all going to plan, that's when it will be out. Friday, 24th May, 6 p.m. UK time. So I hope there's something here that interests you. I might be able to get another couple of things if I can get them finished up at the same time, things that I've not shown here, but if not, then I do hope to add more into my store in future. If you see this and you've got any questions before this goes live, then please do let me know. But as I say, should be available from 6 p.m. on Friday. So whether or not you buy, no problem. I hope this has even just given you a little bit of inspiration for some of your own projects. So thanks for taking the time to watch. Bye for now.